Renegade Master says, "Hi guys, bear with me for this as this post is long. So, I've been passively investing some of my income into ETFs. Hopefully, I'll be able to save a decent retirement fund. I was thinking about the PSE and possibly including Philippines Emerging Market ETF. However, I just can't see structurally how you can be optimistic about the future of the Philippines economy. Let me lay out the bear case from what I see. There are 3 million OFWs sending home $2 billion a month in remittances. That probably accounts for about 10 to 12% of the entire economy. The Philippines is largely consumer driven, so it's not hard to see what's happening. People send money to family and they spend it on consumer items. You also have a large Filipino, 5 million in the US alone, who return every so often and pump money into the local economy. But surely this can't be long-term strategy. The rise of AI, robotics, and post-globalist anti-immigration sentiment in the West will almost certainly end this long term. What will they do then? There are only two areas of economy actually growing, construction and BPOs. The construction sector produces small, overpriced, and poorly made condos for OFW markets as investments. They are over-leveraged with huge oversupply. I also don't see how building countless new shopping malls and casinos will benefit when consumer habits are changing and people are increasingly shopping online. My friend from the UK visited last year and we went to the IT park in Cebu. He said the call center industry will be dead in 5 years. A bold prediction, I know, but he knows the industry. I saw an interview with Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, who said, quote, "If I worked in a call center, I would be very worried," end quote. I think some roles will remain, but I don't think anyone can credibly argue there will be more call center jobs in the next 5 years. Many are already training AI models here. Tourism is way down. It's half pre-pandemic levels. Worse still, it seems to be declining and fell 3.2% in 2025 from 2024. Chinese and Korean tourists have fallen roughly 35%, and this is a huge issue because it's 12% of the economy. I know tourism is down generally, but Philippines attracted fewer visitors than Cambodia. Something is going wrong. Agriculture is the real shit show. It's hugely inefficient, and the Philippines actually has to import rice, which is a scandal. Manufacturing is also facing stiff competition from places like Vietnam and India that seem to be doing a better job at attracting the low-cost, low-skilled manufacturing that made China rich. There are big regional risks. If there's a conflict in the South China Sea, Taiwan, I cannot see how that Philippines is not dragged into it. It's also prone to natural disasters, and UN said it would be, quote, the #1 country affected by climate change, end quote. The biggest problem of all, nothing changes. I've been coming to here for 12 years, and it's so ruled by dynastic oligarch elites, people with right surnames. They don't legislate for a strong rule of law, healthy institutions to liberalize markets because they want to maintain their power. The result is rampant corruption because you can get away with it and it trickles down to society that becomes systematically corrupt. The result of that is low foreign investments and poor credit ratings because nobody wants to invest in a space where their money is not safe. Doesn't matter if it's $1,000 or $1 billion. And the result of this is poor economic growth and all the problems that come with that. I don't want to come across as overly bleak. The Philippines is richer than it was when I was first here 12 years ago. Families now have multi-cab instead of a motorbike, or the house is concrete instead of wood. More young people are going to college. It also has grown 5 to 7% a year from most of that period, which is solid, even if most of it catches up from 2 lost decades. The point I'm making, I don't understand some of the bullish sentiment. The growth, at least to me, seems to be somewhat illusionary, and economy does not appear dynamic. In fact, it is exactly the same underlying problems it had a decade ago, and is destined to fail and fall into the middle income trap. So my question to expats and Filipinos, those that have lived here for a long time, and also those with business and investment experience. Do you broadly agree or disagree with these theses? Am I being too pessimistic? Why or why not? What are your thoughts about investing in the future of the Philippines? Great analysis, I would say. DJ says, investing in the Philippines and being an expat here at the same time makes absolutely zero sense. For a start, the Philippines don't tax alien residents on worldwide income gains, so there's huge reasons to avoid. If you're an American, US index, dollar denominated. If you have access to the US market, why would you ever invest in the Philippine market? Philippines is only good if you're great investments savings among countries you're coming from. Makes no sense whatsoever to ever want to invest in anything here. Corruption is ingrained in everything and has been since the days of Marcos Sr. and before Spanish colonialism. This will always be a third world archipelago with an oligarch, politicians, people in power running the show. Just enjoy it for what it is and your reasons for moving here. Basically, simply, and only the women, right? Frozen says, I've been living, working, and doing business here for a while, and I generally agree with everything you said. As to investments, once you hit 1 million pesos, you will qualify for private or wealth banking from a various retail bank. You'll have access to things that the general public doesn't, such as high interest fixed deposits and various private bond sales from local blue chips. Further to this, you can buy international ETFs, including some pretty good stuff from Europe, such as Lombard Odier. My issue with all this is that the bank takes an insane 1% management fee on top of the fees from the ETFs. I can simply do an order of magnitude better with my Schwab account. As to local equities, the market is not liquid enough to be interesting. Lots of business-minded people speaking things that I do not understand, since I would never invest in this country, personally. Because if I had the money to invest, I would not be in the Philippines. Camilo says, it is exactly as you say. Every Asian stock market is already bullish, except here. Corruption is already ingrained in the culture. Everyone is in it for themselves. The problems, you see, stem way back hundreds of years ago already. The only thing good and I can say about the country is a low median age. It is young population. But even those young people will just gravitate towards immigrating out somewhere, inducing even more brain drain. Young kids now are conditioned to aspire to leave the country as a measurement of success. There's just simply better places in the world where you can park your money. Do you agree with this person's assessment? Thanks for watching. God bless.